Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about whether Volvos really need premium fuel. Now this video comes about because I was reading the owner's manual not long ago. It seems to be one of my favourite pastimes at the moment, and I saw that Volvo recommends premium diesel for the D5, so I just thought I'd make a video talk about whether you really need to do this, so that you guys can perhaps save some money, and I'm going to look at the pros and cons of premium fuel. So let's get straight into it. So a lot of people say that premium fuel is just sort of a scam, gets you to pay more for basically the same product, and unfortunately that's not necessarily true. Premium fuels are much more refined and much cleaner and have additives which essentially make the car run more economically. They're a higher octane as well, which means that less fuel is required to get the same amount of sort of power or bang, as it were. So fast cars such as sort of Aston Martins, Ferraris and everything like that require premium fuels. Now on a regular sort of diesel car, this is a fairly regular car, isn't it? The engines are designed to work with a variety of fuels. They don't rely specifically on premium fuels. That's why a lot of people tend not to use them. However, Volvo recommends it, and that's because they actually run cleaner. So premium fuels, like I said, are much more refined, which means there's less dirt. Basically, there's less likely to, basically it's cleaner inside your engine, as it were. So what I tend to find is the cars that have been run on premium fuel have less issues with fuel pumps and less issues with sort of carbon build-up in the engine. Now when it comes to the fuel pump, imagine like you've got your taps at home. If you have hard water, it means it's got lots of minerals in it and contaminants, and you'll find it tends to like clog up your kettle or build up on your taps or your shower head, and that's exactly the same with premium fuel. If you use poor quality fuel, the contaminants in it will fur up your fuel pump and cause issues. So that's definitely something you want to consider if you're using low grade fuel compared to premium fuel. The same can be said inside the engine. Obviously there's a lot of carbon, especially in diesel engines, that gets sort of caught up inside it, and the way to keep these engines clean is to either use an additive or premium fuel. Now I can already hear a lot of you saying, well, you know, I've run my car for years on standard fuel, never had an issue, and that's probably absolutely right, and that's probably going to be the case for a lot of people. Volvo's service schedules and everything like that are designed for people who work on standard fuel or low grade fuel, which means that the cars essentially are designed to run on that. And you will never experience problems with the fuel pump because you should have replaced it by then, etc, etc. So there are lots of arguments either way. Now I personally use premium fuel where I can, just because it's not that much more expensive. An extra sort of 10p per litre on this car works out about an extra £7, which isn't too bad at all in my opinion, for the sake of well, yeah, it's for the sake of a few quid you can have a better running car. Now I do find, and I've done quite a bit of sort of testing on this using the Fuelio app, every time I've used premium fuel I've seen a definite improvement in MPG by about 4 or 5 MPG. It's nothing groundbreaking, but you can tell that the car works better on it. I also find that the car responds better when you sort of put your foot down. On sort of cheaper fuel, it can sometimes be a bit lazy or feel like it's misfiring, and that's again one of the big issues with standard fuel. Whereas because these engines can perform better on premium fuels, so it's all very confusing. And also what I've found is that cars running standard fuel tend to go through injectors much quicker than cars that don't. Now there are lots of products out there, Red-X being one of them. You saw me using that in the Volvo in the last video, that clean this stuff out, but the best way to avoid getting any issues to prevent it all in the first place, because the cleaning agents can only do so much. So I suppose it's down to you guys what you want to do. In my opinion, I try to use premium fuel wherever I can. It's a bit like food in the way. So you've got your cheap foods, your sugars, everything like that, and we eat them, and they're cheaper. But in the long run, they do tend to cause issues with your health and everything like that. And it's exactly the same with the car. If you're not planning to keep the car for very long, or perhaps you're on a lease or anything like that with a new modern Volvo, then I wouldn't bother putting premium diesel in it, because it's not your issue in the long run. However, if you're like me and you own this car outright, you want to keep it for a long time, you plan to put a lot of miles on it, then definitely I think start using a bit of premium fuel here and there. Even if you don't use it every tank, you could use it perhaps once a month, or sort of every 1 out of 4 tanks, or however you want to do it. That's what I would recommend doing if you can. Just try and use it a little bit, because like I said, it will clean through your engine. It's better for your fuel filters, it's better for your fuel pump and your injectors, and yeah, we'll just avoid any issues in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Fuel is a very it's a thing that we don't even think about as sort of daily drivers. We bung the fuel in, and it propels the car and we go. But actually, you'll find that the less you pay for fuel, the less that fuel lasts in distance. That's just something that I've found out over time, really. You can go to the cheap garage down the end of the road, where it's 124 a litre, and that tank of fuel tends not to last you as long as if you pay 129 a litre. There can be quite a big difference in fuel economy. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know if you use premium diesel or whether you think it's a load of rubbish, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.